Alright guys, this will be the walkthrough for Independent Project 8.5, Excel 2016 Simnet. I'll be using this set of instructions, but I'll have it on my other monitor. So you can go ahead and skip step 2, review formulas, and then we're just going to go straight to step 3 and create cell references. So on part A, select cell C20 and then create a reference to C15. And then same thing for D20, we have to reference C17 again. And then use cell D8 as column input for the data table. So we'll go to data, and then we will go, or there's a bunch of ways to do that. And you can go to the what if analysis, data table, column input cell, but first you have to select the table. You know, that might be a good idea. My bad, fam. I'm not editing this. And then use cell D8. Or you can click it. I'm going to click it. So 35% commission, okay. And then we have to format some things. So we're going to select the split in net pay columns, go back to home, and then decrease by 2 decimals since we don't want to see the cents. And then we still have the percent signs over here, so just double check that your values equal the same as this or on the instruction sheet for whatever version you're doing. And then we're going to copy this sheet. So right click on that, create a copy, and then we're going to rename this to tier 1 and then do the same for in cell A23. And then we're going to recalculate some values. So we're going to go to C12 and we want to see if when the selling price is $1 million. And then we're going to recalculate that data table. So we're going to select this stuff again, cells C20 to D28, and then we are going to go data tab, what if analysis, data table, then column input cell. This time is going to be D7. Commission split 25%. We gotta select the whole thing. There we go. And then just double check that your values are the same as the worksheet or mine, depending on what version you're on. And then we will go on to naming cell ranges. So click Price Solver Sheet tab or Worksheet tab, click cell C12. Then we're going to rename them. So that is under the, I honestly don't remember what tab. I know it's one of these. Formulas. So C12, we're going to go Formulas tab, Define Names tab. You can just click Define Name, and then just make sure that's selling price. Since you can't use spaces, same thing for C14. That one will already be there for us, total commission. But then for C17, this one we do have to change because in column B, it's net commission, but we want it to be saved as PHRE commission. And then go ahead and click OK. And then install the solver add-in in analysis toolpack. So you can just go to your data tab, click solver, or if you have them installed already, if not, just look it up. And then we're going to build a solver problem. So step 6, you can just type in add-ons up here and then select them. Like add-ins, select them here, and then click OK. And then we're just going to click solver with C17 as the objective cell. So we basically want to get a value of $50,000. We want to see how much the house we have to sell at a given commission rate to hit that number by changing cell C12. And then listing commission 6% typically. So we're going to hit solve there, and then we're going to restore the values afterwards, but we're going to make sure to return. You can change that later though. So we're going to change the scenario name to 50,000 with a comma separating it. Did I swap to the other one? Oh, always tricks me, man. Always tricks me. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna look at my scenarios real quick. Give me a second. What if scenario manager? Okay, so we don't have any scenarios. Okay, I don't know if I was on the wrong sheet or what happened there. Make sure to close out your other ones if you have them. So build a solver problem. Set objective C17 to a value of 50,000 by changing the variable selling price. That is correct. We're just gonna re-click that and then click solve. Restore original values, return. We're gonna save the scenario and name it 50,000. Hopefully that works this time. Hit OK. Cool, it worked that time. And then we're gonna have to restore the original values for the next scenario. So kind of the same thing. We're gonna want to hit a commission. So we're gonna do net commission C17 again, but this time to a value of 75,000. And then just by changing variable and selling price, you probably don't have to change this, but I'm changing it anyway. Solve, and then we're going to save this scenario to the $75,000 scenario. Hit OK, restore original values, and then we're going to do the same exact thing. Set our commission, but this time for 100K. By again changing the selling price of the house. Solve, save, and then type in 100,000. And then we could restore original values here, might as well, and we don't need to do that because we are done with step 6 and have all of our scenarios down. So now we actually have to manage them. So that's kind of what I did earlier. You want to navigate to your data tab, what if, scenario manager. We can see that they're all here now. And then all the variables should be the same. So we want to show the $50,000 scenario in the worksheet tab. So that just updates all these values here. And then we're going to create a summary report for cells. You can either select them or just type them in for cells C12, C14, and then C17. Just comma separated values there. Hit OK. And then just you want to make sure that your result cells are these named steps that we did earlier in part 4. That the selling price, total commission, and then the only one you would have to change is the PHR commission. As before, that was called net commission. And then just double check that your values are the exact same on your instruction sheet or here, depending on what version you are running, because they're all different and they never update the freaking things. It's kind of annoying. So now we're going to click the sales forecast sheet. We're on step 8. Generate descriptive statistics for cells E4 through E26, so that whole column in the data table. And then, so for here, we're going to have to go data analysis in your data analyze tab, data analyze. Scroll down to descriptive statistics, hit D on your keyboard if there's too many in the way. And then we're good on the input range. And then the output range, we're going to want to click that and then select G4. Mine's already there, probably because I've already done this before. Just click on the cells and then select the summary statistics box, the kth largest and kth smallest box, which is basically steps B through D, and then hit OK. And then for my current version, it doesn't tell me any steps to do this part, but all we have to do before we get to 8E by autofilling, we want to rename this to sale price, like how it is in our little diagram. And then it actually only wants the values to the right of this. So we're just going to shift all the cells. This is the values that it wants for me. But we're going to click on cell G and we're going to auto fit. So that's just home format or home cells. And we're just going to auto fit the width. and then just make sure that looks about right. Make sure you have the same values. And then that is step 8 done. So now we're going to create a forecast sheet for the date and price data. So we're just going to select these values, cell D5 through E26, go back to our data tab, and then sales forecast sheet right here, under the data forecast, and then forecast sheet. And it says we were going to want the column chart, so just select here in the top right, and then we're going to want 8 months after, or 3 months after the last date on the table. So we could do 08/17 to be safe. I think it's every week, um, or every week on a Sunday. It's like, I'm sure I could do that and it'll be fine. Just 3 months after, roughly. And then we're going to go ahead and click create because it doesn't tell us the exact date to go to. And then we have to reposition this. For the top left corner is in cell E1. It's not anal about positioning. And then cell P20 for the bottom right. So I just like doing the, oh, that looks kind of dumb. And then make sure we're on C20. And then we are good to save and submit our worksheet. And it should be all good after we rename this to forecast. And then I just control S to save. And then go to Simnet and then submit it. And then if you have any of these errors, just make sure, walk through, check them. Pretty simple to solve. Things you have to worry about are naming these fields, making sure that goes through, and then your column data, since it doesn't tell you exactly what to do there, or how to format or the name, you just have to kind of follow what it says. Yeah, that's it in the project 85. Venmo me at Mexican Reese's if I helped you out, dog.